Back on postgame presented by Old El Paso. Start somewhere fresh. Oh, the plot thickens. 8-5, the Broncos with the win now. Level footing with the Ravens, but via the tiebreaker and the loss column. 5, 6, and 7. Quite interesting with the Colts. Nobody rooting harder for Cleveland in this instance, but the Broncos get their 8th win. Still a good amount of football to be played and plenty to sort. We do have 2 officially in that playoff picture with the Chiefs and the Bills. Back with the guys, Ryan Wilson, Bryant McFadden. Fellas, we just saw the names. We just saw the numbers next to them, and it is an ever-changing picture right now, but let's stay focused on what this night meant for the Denver Broncos.
Yes.
Not just hold and serve in the 7th seed, as you said, not just looking in the rear view, but looking forward to what they could possibly do in that wild card picture. Where do you see them when it is all said and done?
I think, guys, the Denver Broncos will get into the playoffs with a rookie quarterback in Bo Nix. This has been an unbelievable coaching job, first and foremost, by Sean Payton. When you look at everything that he had to endure, becoming the head coach for the Denver Broncos, moving on from Russell Wilson, taking a chance on the quarterback in Bo Nix, many felt like was not necessarily first-round worthy, and making him the starting quarterback week 1 and never looking back. And we've seen a player in Bo Nix who has progressed and developed. So now when you look at them currently being in the playoffs at 8-5, you look at their schedule the rest of the way.
Better strap up.
You like their chances, right? You like their chances. Against the Colts, of course, they're fighting for a playoff spot as well, but you get the Colts at home. And I can tell you this much, Ryan and Joe, I do not expect to see a Denver Broncos-led defense allow 30-plus points like they did tonight. I think this was a horrible night for them, but yet and still they made timely plays.
Yeah.
But we know this defensive unit, they're a much better team than what they put forth on display tonight. And with that being said, I think they find a way to win the necessary games to get into the playoffs.
I think you're right, Mac. I think they have to get to 10, and if you look at their record this season, every single win has come against a losing a team with a losing record, and every single loss has come, or vice versa, excuse me. Every single win, the team has lost. Every single loss has come against teams who were pretty good, above 500. So maybe they lose 2 more games, they still get to 10, and that's where you want to be. I do want to say I think this bye is perfectly positioned for them because they maybe ran out of gas defensively, B-Mac, and this allows them to regroup. Get Riley Moss back, hopefully, and make that secondary a little more stout, and that could serve them well down the stretch. And by the way, in that final regular season game, the Chiefs can be sitting guys, so there's an opportunity for them to get to 11 wins. And they get to 11, I think that all bets are off for any people coming for that seventh seed. Excuse me. The one team I want to note, and it comes with a huge caveat, I would not be surprised if you look at the Dolphins' schedule that they win out because it's a pretty soft schedule. They can't play in cold weather. I understand that. They do have to play in New York against the Jets, but at this point, the Jets might not be able to field a team in a few weeks. No offense, producer Lucas. But I think if the Dolphins win out and get to 10 wins, could put a little pressure on that 7th seed, which I think is going to be the Denver Broncos.
All right, it's not necessarily fins up, but fins are alive. You could also have a Kansas City team playing for a 1 seed in that final week. It's going to require some better football than they showed tonight, specifically defensively for those Denver Broncos, but exactly where they want to be in that playoff picture with just a few weeks to play in the regular season. Taking a look now at the other side of the conversation here on our Monday Nighter. Cleveland, with the loss, remains 3-9 and in that mix, not just for where they currently sit at 8th overall, but could get far better with outcomes Patriots, Panthers, Jets, and those in their midst. The Browns, in Ryan Wilson's latest mock draft, targeting some running back help. All right, let's dive into it. I subscribe, everything you could do. When he talks, I listen. And when we talk about the draft, I haven't talked about a running back in the top 10 in quite some time. That's what you're talking about in your most recent mock. Take me through it. You've got the potential Heisman Award winner. Now we know it's not going to be that. The prohibitive favorite there in Travis Hunter. But Ashton Jeanty going to Cleveland. Take me through your thought process.
So, fun fact, Joe, in this latest mock draft, I had the Browns trading down 2 spots and some team over there in Chicago trading up 2 spots to get an offensive lineman. That was the thinking there. The Browns can use all the draft picks they want, also assuming that they're going to roll with the quarterback situation as is. Ashton Jeanty is special, and I'm talking about special in the same way that Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan Robinson were special when they came out a few years ago. One went 8th, one went 12th. I think that's the range we see Jeanty go. He's a little smaller. He's about 5'7", 5'8". Good good luck tackling him. That's the issue. He is incredibly twitched up. His stop-start ability is in the Jahmyr Gibbs conversation. And is this a luxury pick, guys? Yeah, sure. Is Jahmyr Gibbs a luxury pick for the Lions? Absolutely. Has it benefited that Lions offense? 100%. Now, look, the Browns have a million needs, starting with the quarterback position, but they're investing a lot of money into Deshaun Watson. We'll see what happens there. I love the idea of getting someone to take the pressure off Nick Chubb, who isn't yet 100%, and take the pressure off whoever the quarterback is, because clearly you can't have them throwing 50 times a game if it's Jameis, or 15 times a game if it ends up being Deshaun Watson again.
Yeah, and we look at the AFC North, when you talk about those teams, you have to have a reliable running back. And I don't know, the small sample size of Nick Chubb that we're seeing and watching since coming off that knee injury he sustained in 2023, we still haven't really seen that burst. So it's almost like you hope he can regain that type of performance and production, but if he cannot, you got a reliable guy to rely on in Ashton Genty, who is the best running back in this upcoming draft. And outside of that, Ryan, when you look at the AFC North, once again, I firmly believe teams draft for what they will see twice a year. You have Lamar Jackson, you have Joe Burrow. If you can add another elite-like pass rusher to pair opposite of Myles Garrett, there lies an opportunity to recreate what you had in 2023 with your defense that was an outstanding terror for opposing offenses where you had two dominant edge rushers. Remember, it has Zadarius Smith in 2023 and Myles Garrett, and you remember how opportunistic their defense was, double-digit interceptions. Those two guys were great in sacking quarterbacks. They kind of declined a little bit. You traded Zadarius Smith away. Now you only have Myles Garrett. If you're going to get you another edge rusher in that top 10 selection, now you're cooking with gas, because when they have those two guys, along with everything they have in the secondary with Denzel Ward, that defense, remember how they were a year ago. They were unbelievable and actually carried their team into the playoffs, understanding and knowing some of the injuries they had on the offensive side.
All sorts of time between now and draft day, but an inside track for a top 10 pick again in Cleveland. We'll see what they do with it, and we'll see what they do with the rest of this season as well. Ryan Wilson, Bryant McFadden, appreciation as always, gentlemen, as we give you a little taste of what you'll get on with the first pick. Ryan Wilson, Rick Spielman, each and every week, bringing you all the latest between now and draft day. Player profiles, news and notes, everything you need for the future of your franchise. Download, subscribe, and enjoy with the first pick.